Imagine a world without cars, electricity, or the internet. This is not a scene from a history book, but the reality for many Mennonite communities. The Mennonites are a fascinating group of Christians who live in secluded communities around the world. They are known for their simple living, their strong faith, and their rejection of modern technology and conveniences. Stepping into a Mennonite community is like taking a journey back in time, offering a glimpse into a way of life that has remained largely unchanged for centuries. Their commitment to traditional values and their separation from mainstream society make them one of the most isolated groups on the planet. But what motivates this dedication to the past? What are the principles that guide their daily lives? This essay delves into the world of the Mennonites, exploring their history, beliefs, and the unique way of life that sets them apart in our rapidly changing world. Join us as we uncover the reasons behind their chosen isolation and discover the enduring lessons their lifestyle offers in an increasingly complex world. The Mennonites, with their roots tracing back to the 16th century, have a rich history of perseverance and faith. Originating from the Anabaptist movement in Europe, they faced persecution and hardship, which led them to seek refuge in more remote areas. This historical context is crucial to understanding their present-day choices. Their communities are built on the principles of humility, community, and a deep connection to their faith. They believe in living a life that is pleasing to God, which often means foregoing modern conveniences that many of us take for granted. Their way of life is not just about rejecting technology but about embracing a slower, more intentional way of living. By focusing on family, community, and faith, the Mennonites offer a counter-narrative to the fast-paced, technology-driven world we live in. Their story is one of resilience, faith, and a steadfast commitment to their values. As we explore their world, we gain insights into the benefits and challenges of living a life so different from our own. To truly grasp the essence of Mennonite life, we must journey back to the mid-19th century, a period that laid the foundation for many of their enduring traditions. This was a time when life moved at a slower pace, technology was in its infancy, and communities were closely knit, relying heavily on each other for support and survival. The year 1850 serves as a compelling reference point, reflecting the era from which many Mennonite practices stem. It was a time of simplicity and hard work where every member of the community had a role to play. Life in 1850 revolved around agriculture. Farming was not just an occupation but a way of life, deeply intertwined with the community's identity and daily routines. Families worked their land, relying on horses for transportation and manual labor for most tasks. The rhythm of life was dictated by the seasons and the demands of the farm. Education was primarily religious, with children learning basic literacy and arithmetic alongside biblical teachings. Schools were often one-room schoolhouses, where a single teacher would instruct children of all ages. Communities were self-sufficient, producing their own food, clothing, and even furniture. Skills such as sewing, carpentry, and food preservation were essential for daily life. The similarities between life in 1850 and present-day Mennonite communities are striking. Despite the passage of time, many of the core values and practices have remained unchanged. Many Mennonite groups still abstain from electricity, drive horse-drawn buggies, and wear plain clothing. These choices reflect a commitment to simplicity and a desire to remain separate from the influences of modern society. They emphasize farming and traditional crafts, and their communities maintain a high degree of self-sufficiency. This self-reliance fosters a strong sense of community and mutual support. While the outside world has undergone dramatic transformations, the Mennonites have held fast to a simpler time, preserving a way of life that echoes a bygone era. Their steadfast adherence to tradition offers a unique perspective on the balance between progress and preservation. The rooster's crow heralds the start of a new day in a Mennonite community. The sun rising over the horizon paints the fields in golden hues. Life here is structured around a rhythm dictated by nature and faith. Days begin early, with families gathering for morning prayers before tending to their daily chores. Work is not merely a means to an end but an integral part of their faith. Men work the fields, their hands calloused from years of toil. Women manage the household, baking bread, sewing clothes, and preserving the season's harvest. Children too have their roles, assisting with chores and learning the value of hard work and responsibility. Evenings are a time for family, reflection, and communal worship. The day ends as it began, with prayers of gratitude and a deep sense of contentment that comes from living in harmony with nature and their beliefs. At the heart of the Mennonite way of life lies a profound commitment to their faith. Rooted in Anabaptist traditions, their belief system emphasizes peace, nonviolence, and separation from the world. They view themselves as pilgrims on earth, striving to live a life that reflects the teachings of Jesus Christ. Their commitment to pacifism is unwavering, leading them to abstain from military service and any form of violence. They believe in the separation of church and state, choosing to live apart from mainstream society to preserve their way of life and avoid entanglement with worldly affairs. Their emphasis on community and mutual aid is evident in their daily interactions. They believe in helping one another, sharing resources, and supporting each other in times of need. Their faith is not merely a set of doctrines, but a lived experience that permeates every aspect of their existence. The Mennonites' decision to live apart from the modern world offers both benefits and challenges. Their isolation fosters a strong sense of community and belonging. Crime rates are virtually non-existent, and social ills that plague modern society are largely absent. Life is peaceful, predictable, and free from the pressures of consumerism and technological advancement. However, their secluded lifestyle comes at a price. Access to healthcare and education can be limited, and economic opportunities are often restricted to traditional trades. The lack of exposure to the outside world can also lead to misconceptions and prejudices from those who do not understand their way of life. The survival of the Mennonite way of life hinges on the successful transmission of their values and traditions to the next generation. Elders play a crucial role in this process, passing on their knowledge and experience through storytelling, apprenticeships, and daily interactions. Children are raised with a deep respect for their heritage, learning traditional skills, and embracing the values of humility, hard work, and community. While some young people may choose to leave the community to explore the outside world, many remain, drawn to the sense of belonging and the enduring appeal of a simpler, more grounded way of life. Despite their best efforts to remain separate, the Mennonites do not live in complete isolation. Interactions with the outside world, though limited, are inevitable. They engage in trade to sell their produce and crafts, and some may seek employment in nearby towns or cities. The influence of modern society, however, is a growing concern. The allure of technology, the availability of consumer goods, and the exposure to different cultures and beliefs pose challenges to their traditional way of life. The Mennonite community grapples with how to maintain their identity in an increasingly interconnected world while preserving the values and traditions that define them. In a world obsessed with progress and innovation, the Mennonites' steadfast adherence to tradition may seem perplexing to some. Yet their reasons for maintaining their way of life run deep. They believe that their simple, community-oriented lifestyle brings them closer to God and allows them to live out their faith authentically. Their commitment to pacifism, their rejection of materialism, and their emphasis on community stand as powerful counterpoints to the individualism, consumerism, and conflict that permeate modern society. For the Mennonites, holding on to their traditions is not about clinging to the past, but about safeguarding a way of life that they believe offers a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. The Mennonite community, with its steadfast commitment to simplicity, faith, and community, offers a poignant reminder of a time when life moved at a slower pace, where the hustle and bustle of modern life was replaced by a serene and deliberate way of living. In this community, people are more connected to nature and each other, fostering relationships that are deep and meaningful. Their way of life, though seemingly at odds with the modern world, holds valuable lessons for us all. Their emphasis on community, where everyone knows and supports each other, creates a strong social fabric that many of us yearn for in our fragmented societies. Their respect for the environment is evident in their sustainable farming practices and their careful stewardship of the land. Their dedication to peaceful living, avoiding conflict and promoting harmony, serves as powerful antidotes to the challenges of our times. In a world often filled with strife and discord, their commitment to peace is both inspiring and instructive. While most of us may not choose to adopt their way of life entirely, there is much we can learn from their example. The Mennonites offer a compelling example of how to live with intention, purpose, and a deep connection to something greater than ourselves. Their daily routines are imbued with a sense of purpose and mindfulness that many of us seek in our own lives. Their story is a testament to the enduring power of faith, tradition, and the strength that comes from living in accordance with one's values. The Mennonites remind us of the importance of preserving ways of life that offer a different pace and a different perspective in an increasingly complex world. Their way of life is not just a relic of the past, but a living, breathing example of how to find balance, peace, and fulfillment in a fast-paced world.